Welcome to my new video. In this one I will improve the sprint and I will also unpack my color calibrator and try to recalibrate it to the new setup and new chemicals and new print. So in previous video we stopped with the corrections on the magenta and setting up all the darkroom, and today I wanna make adjustment, and because at the moment I have ability to just keep everything set up in the darkroom and I just need to reheat the Ryobo CPU2, I can be on and off from the darkroom, and it's kind of a continuation of the process. I don't need to disassemble anything and it doesn't really have any waste of time. I'm really glad I have this opportunity now, so I can do more and improve more on each print, and I don't need to think about the sessions of printing. I just go there and print something or improve something and go out. As you probably saw, I'm using this ADOX array for chemistry kit. So far it kind of works. I don't really have any technical problems with it. And for washing, I'm using these empty bottles, and for washing solution, which I preheat inside these tubes, what I have in the Ryobo, which is around 250 milliliters. So after one printing session, I probably have around 1 liter of waste of water, so it's not really also concentrated, it's just the washing water from the print, and so far it works fine and looks easy and sufficient, and I don't really need access to the direct water. Because I'm still not found any stores with the distilled water, so far I'm using just the tap water, and here in Copenhagen it's more or less fine, and at least it's pure and without any additional mineralization. So I like it more and it works fine. So one small trick with this lid with the cap, it actually contains a lot of water drops. Just don't forget to shake it up and wipe it off. Probably on video you cannot clearly see the difference here in these pictures, but in real light it's quite noticeable and the magenta shift is quite huge. So now I will try to unpack my color calibrator, and everybody asking about this thing, but quite honestly I cannot recommend exactly this model. First of all, it's crazy old and I have a few technical problems with it, and also I cannot say it's crazy precise, and with the exposure and with the corrections it's more or less ±5 or ±10 in a scale. So if you're experienced in the darkroom, yes, you can use it as initial point, but in principle, if you have a test printer, I think it's more or less easier to just test print some prints and get a hand on the prints, and from there you can clearly see the corrections. And if you want to imagine how old this thing is, inside this thing is PCB basically drawn by hand. And because it's Phillips, probably it's drawn by hand in Netherlands. So additionally you have a diffuser and you have this color sensor, and usually I have problems with the sensitivity and the sensor itself. So first step, we need to crop down the picture to remove all the borders from the picture, and this is important step. The second step, we need to actually find diffusion center, so it's basically maximum intensity. And in the manual for this tool, it's quite easy, and I think it's 4-step manual. I will show it a little bit later. So we're starting with the cyan channel, turn it on, and inside the photo head, it's actually wheel with the filters, which is rotating on top of the photo sensor. And these 3 knobs, it's a gain for each channel, and 1 knob, which is exposure, it's a main gain. So under the dark conditions, you just need to find out the center of the picture, which will show you maximum intensity, and after it you need to set up everything for the cyan channel. So after I tried to fix it several times, I actually don't really know if it still works perfectly fine as it should work. In the manual, the first step, this is what I explained. You need to find the center, and you need to, after it, turn the knob on a cyan channel with your particular intensity and the timing what you found to set it up the gain wheel for the cyan channel. And my problem here, First of all, sometimes for some reason I'm losing intensity, and I think it's just a matter of the old connections or some resistance somewhere, or probably it's some bad capacitors which is already die after this amount of age. And unfortunately, this is not the right tool as Yobo, for example, which you can disassemble and check what is inside and check all the stuff and replace most of the components. And unfortunately, most of the hand-drawn PCB is just a mess inside the main module and you cannot disassemble it. And unfortunately, you have zero access to the back panel. So first of all, I have problems with the backlights on the knobs. And I think this problem is just a power problem with some components. And as you can understand, if you have one power problem on one component, and you're trying to measure low intensity light with the old technology, it will give you much higher problems. So I think at the moment I'm on a step when I will invest more my time and effort to just create a new tool or buy something different. So if you have a suggestions on tool, leave it in the comment below. But in principle, in the background, as I told before, I'm working on some tool which will help me to manage the intensity, mostly to make different crops. And also it will be good if I have different color calibrations and I can basically set it up and recalibrate for different films and different paper stocks. And also, I don't really like this tool because it's not really universal for black and white and color. And I saw on eBay tools from Yobo with the color calibration. It works a little bit different, so it's two different tools. One is the intensity tool, basically expanometer, and the second tool, it's a magenta yellow tool, and you need to measure it up with a fully open aperture and fully closed filters, so it's basically taking much higher intensity of the light. And I think this approach is more precise than trying to measure everything in the same time, especially with the crazy old technology. With the modern technology, you actually can put everything what you have inside this color calibrator on one IC, and you can buy it in general for Arduino and connect it with the digital output, and you have almost exactly everything what you have there. In general, we anyway measuring intensity of the light with the RGB channels. But for now, I will just finish up this print and hope you really like my videos in my new darkroom. And probably it's not a big difference between two prints, but I think the main important corrections also is the crop and the balance of the picture. So I cropped down the top part of the picture to remove the wiring and remove a little bit of magenta tint from the picture to make the sky more white. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you soon.